Guys, I was there last night for the launch for Xpeng's new cars, the new software, artificial intelligence, robotics, and their new electric car platform. Particularly, they revealed the new X9 details. But I'm going to give you a quick summary here on where Xpeng are going, my impressions from the CEO, from uh, very, very briefly meeting the CEO, and of course, from meeting a number of the other staff at Xpeng. It was an interesting night, and when you look at Tesla's launches that are, done in a similar way to this, it shows a very stark contrast between one company versus another. Xpeng revealed one huge thing, which is a very distinct contrast from Tesla. Now, in a lot of ways, Xpeng have copied Tesla, done very similar things to them, which has been, I think, a smart move. Really, if someone's doing it better, then what do? You look at what they're doing and you see if you can improve on it. That's actually what Xpeng's done. They looked at what Tesla's doing. Basically tried to work out if they could improve on that, and they actually have done that in numerous ways. I mean, put it this way, right? Tesla, full self-driving, what does it cost? $12,000, something like that. I mean, the price fluctuates all over the place. Xpeng is saying their full self-driving chip will come in all of their cars. It's their new Turing chip, which they have. They've done a similar thing to Tesla, made their own autonomous driving chip because they think that's better than using NVIDIA's chip. They're saying that chip will come in every car, meaning every Xpeng you buy anywhere in the world will be capable of full self-driving when regulators in that country approve it. There is no other car company in the world that are promising anything like this. Is it just a big promise though? Is this the kind of thing that will never actually happen, never actually eventuate? Well, let's get into it. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. First things first, at the show, there was a bunch of new electric cars. There was the X9, the new X9 MPV, which, based on the new details revealed for this vehicle, the new suspension, the acoustic changes, the seat change, there has been hundreds of changes made to this vehicle, and I've got to say it is without doubt the best electric MPV van, large vehicle I think you can buy in the world. I cannot find anything better based on everything that I learned last night. Plus, the price is incredible. Starts from 49,000 US dollars. In addition to that, Xpeng is saying they will no longer do what they've done in the past, which is have models revealed just for China and then they go to the rest of the world. Now, Xpeng is saying when they reveal a new model, those model details will be for everywhere. Right-hand drive, left-hand drive, everything. So this new X9, Xpeng X9, that's the version that's coming to Australia, that's coming to other countries around the world, coming to Europe, coming to Thailand. It's already in places, I believe it's already in Malaysia. So that is the vehicle that everyone's going to get, the new updated version. You won't get the older version. One of the big changes that's coming, Xpeng's vehicles with this platform, the X9, G6, the G9, and P7 Plus, all of them have their 800-volt platform, which is capable of approximately 500 kilowatt fast charging. You can charge the battery. Even in that massive MPV, it's about 105, I believe, 105 kilowatt hour battery. You can charge that battery from 10 to 80% in 12 minutes. Same thing with the G6, 12 minutes. G9, same thing, 12 minutes. Now, of course, you need the right fast charger for that to happen. Those fast chargers will be rolled out over the next 5 years around the world by different companies, including Xpeng. Xpeng actually do have their own very large fast charging network in China. But yeah, other companies will roll out fast charging networks around the world later. But of course, I don't think anyone's expecting that in your country you can charge that quickly, but you will be able to charge really quickly on a 350 kilowatt charger, probably about 18 minutes, I'd say, based on the numbers that I'm seeing, which would be the fastest of any car that's currently in Europe, any car that's being sold, in overseas markets. So that's really, really cool. But for me, more important than that for a car company is if they're embracing the future. And there's no doubt Xpeng, they are doing that. I mean, absolutely, they are focusing on most of their efforts. One thing I think they're doing that I don't agree with, I'll mention that in a minute. They're focusing most of their resources, finances, personnel onto robotics and automated driving. Basically, they want to become a smart, intelligent company, not really a car company. Very similar to what Tesla is doing. In other words, Xpeng are all in on artificial intelligence. That said, they did reveal also a new plug-in hybrid platform. It's actually a range extender platform, basically the same as a plug-in hybrid anyway, which will have 400 kilometers of range on the battery alone. But we'll get to that in a minute. Speaking of Xpeng's AI endeavors, there's a range of things they're doing. So they've got the autonomous driving, one. They've got their robotics. They're making a humanoid robot, number two. And I'm going to tell you something about the robot, which is very interesting. The main guy working on it, he's the head of the division. He gave a presentation and he was very honest. He wasn't a bullshitter. There's a lot of bullshitters out there when it comes to robots. He was saying, nah, that's all not true. Bill Gates, what he said is a bit bogus. All this Tony C might be exaggerating even as well. That's what he was saying. And I'll get to what he was saying in a minute. So there's autonomy, robots, flying cars, and I guess you could say smart cars. But the three main focuses there are those three things: autonomy, robotics, and flying cars. The Turing chip that Xpeng are using in all their latest vehicles are going to be coming out in the X9, and the G6 will get it as well. All these vehicles are going to get the Turing artificial intelligence, full autonomy capable chip. That's going into the robot. That's the chip they're using in the robot. Now, they did try to use, they said, they did try to link the robot to DeepSeek, that new Chinese artificial intelligence. And yeah, they said they're working on that, but it's been a bit of a challenge. However, very interesting, robotics division, the guy in charge of that, he said that Xpeng is still a fair way away. They've been working on robots as well, robotics, for probably about 10 years from what I can see. And he said, yeah, you know what, the whole industry is sort of exaggerating. They're showing you these videos, showing you these tricks of what these robots can do. But honestly, he said, none of these robots are actually smart robots. No one's gotten to that point yet. And what you need to do, and I keep on saying this, and I believe he's right, is you've got to focus on the brain of that robot. You've got to enable it to think like a human. So that's what Xpeng are working on. He said they're 3 to 5 years away, but they will have a much less intelligent robot, they say, on the market next year in 2026. So that's what their plan is. Obviously, BYD is saying they're going to have a robot on the market as well for $10,000 next year. Xpeng and Tesla, they're all going to do the same thing. But none of these robots will be the smart robots of the future. All of them will be dumbed down versions. The real smart robots of the future, he says, are 3 to 5 years, possibly even more than that distance away. So don't worry, it looks like you won't lose your job as quickly as what we were thinking. Bill Gates said, all of us are going to lose our jobs within 10 years. Artificial intelligence, well, not all of us, but most of us, artificial intelligence was going much faster than he thought. And it looks like that might not be the case. He might have been potentially being told some information by companies that was potentially exaggerated in order to get his investment dollars into those companies. I suspect that's what might have happened. Now, getting to their hybrid platform. The new hybrid, Xpeng didn't say which cars they're going to make hybrids out of. They just revealed the details of the new hybrid platform. And they said that the battery will enable the vehicle to have the ability to do 400 kilometers or 420 kilometers of CLTC range. So about 350 kilometers, probably about 240 miles, right, of real world EV only range. And I think that's the most range of any plug-in hybrid or range extender on battery power alone that I've seen anywhere. In addition to that, it can charge at 100 kilowatt charging speeds, which sounds really slow, but it's actually, I think, one of the 3 fastest charging hybrids in the world. So not only is it going to give you a huge amount of range, it also has the ability to charge the battery extremely, extremely quickly. I'm not a huge fan of hybrids, but as far as hybrids goes, this hybrid sounds incredibly impressive. My guess is that Xpeng will make the G9, a different version of the G9. Of course, they'll keep the electric version, but they'll also have a hybrid version of the Xpeng G9. I ran that by some journalist colleagues last night, and they think that's probably true. That's the hybrid covered. Now, finally, I want to summarize and give you guys an idea on how Xpeng compares as a company to Tesla. Xpeng have decided that they are removing LiDAR from their autonomous driving cars. And when it comes to autonomous driving cars, Xpeng's vehicles in China are capable of, I would say, nearly on par ability with full self-driving compared to what Tesla can do in the United States. So Xpeng is considered the best full self-driving company in China when it comes to actual cars that you can personally buy that aren't doing what Google is doing, right? That don't use HD maps and that don't use LiDAR. So really that comes to down to companies like Diddy, companies that are doing what Google is doing. You can't buy those vehicles. They're very expensive. When it comes to cars you can purchase, Xpeng is the leader when it comes to autonomous driving in China. And very interestingly, a couple of years ago, they decided to go down the Tesla track by removing LiDAR and also not using HD maps anymore. Now, Xpeng, interestingly, was the first company in the world to begin using LiDAR and HD maps for autonomous driving. They did that many, many years ago. I think it was about 7 years ago, 6 years ago. And they've reversed that decision. They've gone down the Tesla route. They've said, you know what? We're still going to use some sensors, but we won't use LiDAR. We'll have a pretty much vision-only based approach. They do use some sensors, but it's very similar to Tesla's approach. That's the right way to go about it. And we'll train our neural networks like crazy. So Xpeng are doing what Tesla are doing. They said they have more than 500 million miles that they've used to train their neural net for their autonomous driving. And they showed us some videos of their cars in autonomous driving. I would say they look good, not quite as good as Tesla in the United States, but pretty close, pretty close. And I spoke to some people at this show who said they use their Xpeng P7 Plus, which is one of the best selling cars in China right now, they don't actually drive it. They just have their hands on the steering wheel, but they don't actually do the driving. And that's how they get to work. And it works really well. It does appear that Xpeng are close to getting to level 3 self-driving. Now, Xpeng have said that's their goal by the end of this year to be approved in China for level 3 self-driving. There's no car companies in China currently approved for level 3. That's their goal to get there. Can they do it? I have no idea, but an educated guess would be that they will do it within the next year, within the next 12 months. Speaking of the P7 Plus, the P7 Plus is one of the best-selling cars in China right now. It's not cheap, right? It's similar in size to a Tesla Model S, but it has a very practical liftback. And the reason it's selling so well, and I didn't realize this until I got here to China, I got here to actually look at the cars and speak to people, but the reason it's selling so well is because of its full self-driving. People are buying it for that reason. They know Xpeng's NGP that's the first car that Xpeng brought out with full NGP, and it's using their advanced driving. They know that customers here in China know that if they get their car, that's the best car for them to be able to get to work without doing anything, without focusing with the car actually driving itself. And as a result, it's sold like crazy. It's been the most successful product Xpeng have had. Interestingly, Xpeng were quite shocked at this show because a couple of days ago, somebody from China drove their P7 Plus to Hong Kong. Now, in China, the roads are left-hand drive, right? In Hong Kong, because of the British, it's right-hand drive. So the P7 Plus has been trained, its neural networks, everything's been trained for it to drive on the right-hand side of the road, yeah? And when it gets to Hong Kong, everything's reversed. So Xpeng had never trained the vehicle to drive on the other side of the road. Anyway, this person gets into Hong Kong, starts driving, and the P7 Plus worked it out. It literally worked out the side of the road it was meant to be on. And then it successfully completed some sort of difficult merging maneuvers in traffic, even though everything was in reverse. So Xpeng were quite surprised by this. And the CEO, Heo Peng, he got up on the stage and he was like, oh, I didn't even know the car would be able to do this. I'm surprised. But it seems like the car, he believes the car is learning as it goes along. I don't know if that's true, but that's what he said. Speaking of the CEO gave a presentation for nearly 2 hours without reading anything, without saying, so, and, yeah, well, Elon Musk does that a lot, sometimes, quite a lot. And he doesn't speak for 2 hours. I have never seen a CEO get up and speak for 2 hours with such incredible structure to their speech, power to their speech, discipline. The level of delivery was unbelievable. Either this guy is an incredible salesman or he has practiced a lot to deliver this kind of speech to people, because I was sitting there thinking to myself, what a phenomenal job. It's very rare you see CEOs. Look at Tim Cook, look at these CEOs that get up and give a speech. It's lacking in substance. It's very short. They don't really need to remember anything. But this CEO got up and he remembered all these details, right? He had a couple of little prompts, I believe, on the stage, but very, very minor stuff where he just read, one little tiny paragraph every 20 minutes or something. And he timed his speech with what was happening on these slides and all this information about the Turing chip, about artificial intelligence about Xpeng's new suspension systems, which look amazing, combining dual chamber air suspension with magnetic dampers. And I mean, I'm giving you guys this talk, right, with no notes. I'm just looking straight at the camera, and it'll be maybe 20 minutes. But he did it for 2 hours to a crowd of maybe 2,000 people, in line with all these slides behind him. And I have had actual training. I mean, I've done 7,000 videos. How much training has he had to deliver this kind of speech like that? I don't know, but it can't be that much. He's an engineer. He's an IT engineer, basically. I have to say, right now, I don't know of a CEO that seems more impressive. And not just in that sense of giving a great presentation, but in the sense of him being so positive. He doesn't criticize other companies. He looks at other companies and says, what can we learn from them? What can we learn from Tesla? What have Xpeng learned from Tesla? They've learned to use gigacasting. The X9 is the only vehicle in the world that uses a 12,000-ton gigacasting pieces for the front and a 6,000-ton gigacasting section for the rear. The Xpeng G6 is the same. 2 large gigacasting sections joined together. Structural battery packs, autonomous driving using primarily vision. There is so many things that Xpeng have learnt from others and then found a way to do it even better. And that suggests to me that even though he believes only 5 to 7 car companies will be left in China within 10 years' time, 5 to 7, he showed how Xpeng's coming 7th right now. And he said, well, we better move up, because if it's 5 to 7, we're right on that borderline. He's saying that about his own company. We have to get the hell out of here, and we've got to do something. We've got to make sales happen. And this is how we're going to do it. Now, hearing all that, what do you guys think? Let me know what your thoughts are. Obviously, I'm here. I've seen the excitement about the brand, and I've seen a lot of the details, a lot of stuff that you probably haven't seen. My take is this: Xpeng is going to be one of those 5 car companies left. I didn't used to think that, of course. Things change. Volkswagen Group saw this. The Volkswagen Group have seen what kind of CEO this guy is. They've seen what company he's running, and they've invested into this company. And honestly, that's probably the smartest thing they've ever done.